Welcome everyone to the Campus Insider. Today I am hosting a very special program, something which a lot of our students are very inclined towards, which is economics. Now, economics is something which is definitely available. However, a lot of students complain BSc is not available. Itna programs or itne colleges ke paas nahi. So here we are. BSc Economics is something which is offered by NMIMS. Okay, now NMIMS Mumbai offers BSc Economics. BSc Economics is also offered by their Navi Mumbai campus and by their Bangalore campus. Okay, with 120 60 split. So, if you want to pursue BSc Economics with either of their campus, because eventually the program delivery would remain the same. Okay, this is the program, or this is the information right now which we would be discussing will give you in-depth information. So today Sanika Mate, your friend, your mentor and your guide, will be speaking to Ishita, Nirmit and Smith, and will be dissecting everything about the BSc Economics. Okay, so let's start with your introduction. Let's start with senior first. So we have Ishita Bhantia. Ishita, can you please introduce yourself to the students?
Yeah. Hi everyone. Though I can't see you, but okay. So I'm Ishita Pandya, as ma'am introduced me, and I'm originally from Jaipur. I did my class 10th and 12th both from DPS Jaipur, and then I decided to take up BSc Economics from NMIMS. Past 3 years I have been there in Mumbai on the campus. So basically I was the outsider student in Mumbai, so it was a completely different experience for me that way as well. And it was a good 3-year experience. I always wanted to study economics, so it catered good to me. And then now currently I would like to work for 2-3 years before I pursue my MBA. So I'm currently doing that. And I'm currently working as an analyst at Ernst & Young in Mumbai itself. And before that, I was working at ICICI Lombard as an operations analyst, again in Mumbai itself.
Fantastic. Do some lovely companies and brands which you are working for. The first one, definitely, a known brand. And the second one is a very aspirational one, must say, Ishita. Thank you so much for taking out time and, doing this for us. Second, we have Nirmit Sanghvi. Nirmit, can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Nirmit Sanghvi. I've been born and brought up in Mumbai only. I did my 10th in an ICSE school. For my 11th and 12th, I was in a junior college. I was in NM. So NM and NMIMS both are very close by, with the same parent group, which is SVKM. So I'm quite familiar with the area. And I was very keen in pursuing something in economics or finance related. I had an option of BSc Finance or BSc Economics, but in the end, I took BSc Economics because it catered to my passions much more. So yeah, that's it. So I'm in second year currently. I and Smith both are in the same division. Yeah, in second year.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Nirmit. Yeah. Yes, a student who is very close to my heart, Smith Shah. Please introduce to yourself.
Hello everyone. I'm Smith Shah. I'm actually from Pune. I did my schooling 10th and 12th from DPS Pune. Right now I'm actually in my second year in NMIMS pursuing BSc Economics. So the main reason I took economics was actually because I got the lowest marks in economics in my 12th. So I just wanted to challenge myself a bit. So that's actually the main reason why I took economics. But throughout the course, the 2 years I've been in NMIMS, I've actually started to like it. Yeah, that's my story right now.
I think I would like to give a disclaimer. Smith is a person who is very adventurous. So the decision behind taking economics is different. He's a very bright student, so he was able to cope up. But I would request, just because you got lower marks, don't consider economics as a subject. Consider first. But yeah, he's a good student, and I think he will do well with what he would do. So thank you so much, Smith, for introducing yourself. Now let's understand. I think you gave me the cue for the first question, Smith. Understanding why you picked up economics. Okay. Now, I want to go back to this, our senior first. And Ishita, I want to understand what were your reasons? Because right now the students who are joining, somewhere they are inclined towards economics. Okay. What were your reasons? So they would be able to possibly relate to you.
Okay, so my initial reason for taking economics was completely opposite of Smith's. I got highest marks in economics in class 11th and 12th. I was in fact the school topper for it. Both in 11th and 12th, I think I got around 99%. So it was very clear to me that, I want to pursue something in this. But this wasn't the only reason. The other reason was that because as compared to other bachelor courses, especially in the commerce field, if you say, economics is one of the courses which is you can term it as a professional course. Like for the entire 3 years you're focusing on one subject. So at the end of the 3 years you can possibly say that you are proficient in something, you are proficient in one subject. So that was something that inclined me more towards economics. Secondly, after doing economics, there were a lot of career paths that were opening for me. Again, with due research and everything, you get to know that you can actually go into a lot of fields. You can go into proper research work, which is currently what I'm doing right now, because I always wanted to go into research. Earlier, I wanted to go into finance, and economics is a subject that considerably open doors for finance as well, because there is a lot of statistical concepts, and for a college like NMIMS, they give you options of minors taking finance as a minor in third year as well. And then other than that, any kind of operations or consulting, or just specifically talking from a corporate point of view, an economic student can actually go anywhere and get themselves inclined with the different rules corporate has to offer. And obviously, regardless, to say masters in economics is always an option, and people usually take NMIMS to go into good universities like London School of Economics, like everyone must have heard it, for their masters in economics, or some other universities abroad, because the coursework is very similar to those of outside universities. So I wanted to keep all of these options open for myself. So this was one of the reasons why I took economics back then.
Fantastic. I think what you summed up was clear, questions which students tend to ask and parents tend to ask, that economics liya to options, right? A student just asked that economics liya, so what master's option or what postgraduate options would be available. I think you answered that particular question as well, that you would have option for MBA, you would have options for masters, it would be overlapping finance. Okay, so thank you so much for giving that answer. Yes, what was your reason?
Yeah, I had a bit of similar reasons. So basically, I took economics because it was one of the most widest subjects. Like Ishita mentioned, we study economics throughout all 3 years, but the type of economics we study is very different in each other. So basically, even in economics, there are a lot of partitions. It's you cover a whole lot of economics, from Indian economy to micro to macro to international economics, even geopolitics. So I just wanted to study as much as I can, and that is the main reason. I wasn't sure if I wanted to completely go into finance or be in economics, so I wanted to keep my options open. So that is a good thing. So even if you're in economics, I think you can still go into finance, because a lot of the main subjects are overlapping. So that is the main reason I took economics.
Fantastic. Now, this is definitely a cue for me for the next question. Nirmit, you mentioned that there's a lot of overlapping. You study everything.
Yeah.
Smith, considering economics is something which is treating you well, would you be able to highlight what exactly you have been studying, or what would BSc Economics consist of when it comes to subjects as concerned?
So as Nirmit said, throughout our course, we'll be studying a diverse group of subjects. So right now, the course has changed a bit because of NEP, but even with NEP, each new semester you get a wide bunch of subjects. So in the when you see your first year, your main subjects will be micro and macro, and obviously your maths with statistics. You'll also be focusing on your other slightly lower credit courses, you will be having motivational training, you'll be having leadership training, you'll have effective communication, accounts, finance. That's why economics is so well known for finance, because you will have finance as a major part of the economics course. You will also be having subjects like sociology, political science. So as a whole, economics takes in the spectrum of many possibilities, and it's just endowing you with the knowledge. So you're just not restricted to economics, but you're getting a wide variety of subjects that are like to your disposal later. Now, when you reach your third year, you also get to choose your specialization. So you have 3 subjects to choose for your specialization. You can either pursue your further interest in economics, you can pursue your further interest in business, or you can pursue finance. So overall, I would say that economics is not just limited to economics, but it's letting you study like a wide variety of subjects. Right now, in the new course, right now because the NEP, my juniors, they also have an option to choose between languages. So that I think they have an option between Spanish, German, and Sanskrit. So yeah, so every year they're introducing something new, keeping you on your toes, like letting you learn more.
Interesting, very interesting. So understanding that it is, when we do economics, it is kind of opening doors to us for a variety of subjects and basically preparing us to make sure that, you are ready for the outside world. Will that be right to say, Ishita, Nirmit? Would you agree with me that once you complete your BSc economic course, you are prepared for the corporate world, or let's say the working world outside?
Yeah, actually, one of the main reasons that I would say yes to that question is that because I'm specifically talking about BSc Economics here right now. NMIMS has a variety of courses to offer, and I had friends in all the courses. But seeing specifically BSc Economics, it is one of the most rigorous curriculums that you can come across as a student, because the number of subjects that we had were more as compared to the other courses all across the country. In fact, like the people who were studying economics in Delhi University or Mumbai University or some other colleges also, our course in comparison was very rigorous. So you could see I could describe you a normal day for a BSc Econ student, and I think Nirmit and Smith would also agree to that because now they have faced 1 year of it. So just consider like 20 to 25 days before our end sems, you are just there in the library for 10 hours, 11 hours, 12 hours, countless hours, and you are just studying there. All of your friends are just in the library. NMIMS has a very beautiful library in the glass building, and they allow you to sit there till 3 a.m. in the morning during exam hours. So we used to utilize that time and then study there. And then when the end semester exams weren't going on, there were always presentations and assignments keeping you on your toes. But the end product was that you were learning so much, because the kind of assignments and the kind of presentations, in fact, each subject, like the way end semester paper examination used to come, was so unique in itself that you had to put extra efforts to actually grasp everything from that subject. I think that was a very beautiful concept about this course, because in the end you were ready to face everything. Like I remember the placement season in my third year, and we all were like, we were scared obviously before the interviews and everything, but we were also kind of ready for it, because we were like, okay, we have gone through such rigorous procedures, we know, we have done so many things, we know a lot of things. And it's not just economics that they teach, as Smith mentioned. There is psychology, there is accounts, there is things about tax, there is motivational learning, leadership learning. There are just so many things that they're teaching you. So in the end, it does prepare you for the corporate world, because once you go to the corporate, you are expected to sit for 9 to 10 hours straight and just do your work. So this is something that they're already making you do in college. Plus with the strict attendance schedule, and we were always packed up, like the curriculum made sure that we were always packed up. So it is, if you take it in a learning, in the view of that growth and learning, I would say that it is a very good course, because even without you consciously trying, you learn so much within a span of 3 years.
Wow, I think that was a very good download. You have covered a lot of aspects there. But tell me something, all three of you. Right now, if I am a student and I'm listening this particular, I'm looking at this video, Ishita just giving me a download, I would be scared shit. I would be like, itna rigor hai. So right now, the two boys I have, Smith and Nirmit, tell me something. Seriously, बहुत ज़्यादा rigor hai. As in, to you guys, is it like you feel little pressurized with the rigor, but is there learning with it? I just want to understand from both of you. Starting with you, Nirmit. Yeah, go ahead.
There's definitely learning in it, but it's not rigorous all of the time. So a month before our NSEM, it's obviously rigorous because we got our presentations, we got a lot of ICS coming up. Also, we got to prepare for the NSEMs. But after the NSEMs, we got A month is a very chill. You just have to come to college, you have to sit for lectures. You don't have a lot of presentations. It's basically just attending the lectures, as many lectures as you can. So yes, it is rigorous, but it is not rigorous all throughout. Like, it's not rigorous for 12 months. You can say it's rigorous for like 3 months out of 12, 3 or max 4. It's not even rigorous for 4, but for 3 months max. The rest of the time, it's basically chilling with your friends. You'll meet a lot of new people. It's basically exploring the city. So major time goes into that.
Fantastic. What about you, Smith? What is your point of view?
I actually agree with Nirmal about this. So it is rigorous, there's no doubt about that. It is a very rigorous course, but it's not going to be rigorous throughout. You'll get time to adapt, you'll get time to chill after your exams, it's all leisure. But the time when your exams are coming, that time you have to put in the work. But I think that is applicable to all the courses anyone is going to study.
I would completely agree to that. Okay, tell me something. You guys just gave me some insight in terms of the attendance, attending classes. Okay, I'm very sure this is something which my students would really want to understand. What is the attendance percentage? As in, is there a certain percentage you need to maintain, or there are repercussions in case if you decide कि बस 2 हफ्ते में back to back bunk कर? Smith, starting with you.
Okay, so I'll answer this one. So attendance is very strict in NMIMS. That is not an overstatement. It is very strict. So the minimum attendance you need to have is 80%. So you have lectures according to the credits of a course. So if you have a 4-credit course, you have 60 lectures in a semester. So you have to attend 48. If you have a medical reason, you can give a medical and your mandatory comes down to 70%. But 70% is a threshold. You can't go below that. So attendance is as strict as everyone tells.
Okay. I have also heard something. So what happened is I just happened to visit NMIMS Navi Mumbai. Okay. And I happened to interact with a lot of BSc econ students there. But I was not aware that in case if you are not, so there is no ATKT system. Okay, so in case if people don't know what is ATKT, so when you go to your first year, second year, because बहुत लोगों के लिए it might sound like a jargon. So ATKT or a drop year means that in case in the first year you are failed in one subject, you can still go to second year and give your exams and possibly clear it. But with NMIMS, is it true that there is no system of a drop year or there is no ATKT? Nirmit?
Yeah, there's no ATKT. So if
you are failed.
If you fail, you get a re-exam.
Oh.
Yeah, you get a re-exam. So that's kind of a buffer. If you fail the re-exam, you gotta repeat the year or you have to leave the college. That's the only thing.
That's harsh.
Yeah.
Okay. One more thing.
Actually, there is one more option. Either you repeat the year or you leave the college, or they also give you an option to stay, like just come for that same particular exam next year. And then if you clear it, then you can rejoin. So like essentially go back to your place for 1 year types.
Oh.
Yeah, like.
Yeah, that is the third option.
Yeah, like sit home for a year.
Yeah.
That's
like if you don't want to repeat the entire year just because you failed one exam, so they give you the option, okay, next year at the same time come to give this exam, so that for 1 year you can maybe just, I don't know, chill at home. Yeah,
definitely after failing no one chills, but okay,
yeah.
good part there. But one thing which is pretty highlighting here, or what I realized when I moved or kind of just was speaking to the Navi Mumbai campus students, is the fact that it is very disciplined. Okay, I just wanted to understand how many students are there in the class, Smith and Nirmit. How many students are there in the class in second year?
So on average in a class there'll be around 60 students, 50 to 60 students.
50
depending on the batch size. Yeah.
Okay. What was the number of students, Ishita, in the final year?
Okay, so I'll be really honest here because when I joined this college, we were the COVID batch that didn't give the board exams and everything. So on my first day of college, I still remember in the orientation program, there were around 250, 260 participants. And at my convocation, which was around 6 months back, 148 of us graduated, but like not everyone failed or got debarred. Many people left within the first 3 months also to join some other colleges or something like that, because that was a very confusing phase for students that time. They were looking at a lot of options and all the applications were getting delayed because of COVID. So yeah, you can say a good 35 to 40 students left the college in the first initial months to join some other college, but rest difference is just people getting debarred or failed or repeating or stuff like that. Yeah.
I'll tell you guys why I asked this particular question, because when I interacted with the BSc Eco students, and I happened to speak to a final year student who actually kind of just said that the number he mentioned as the final year, and he said that though the program is rigorous, I could tell while I was speaking to the student that this particular student is prepared for the outside world. So all the parents and students right now who are listening or who must be watching the video, understand one thing. We are not trying to scare you, but we are trying to make sure this particular episode is just to make sure that, don't be delusional. Okay, when you enter the degree college, when you start picking up a program, you are being prepared for the corporate world. You are being prepared. So once you move out of the campus, you can directly hit the operations floor. Okay, so all this will be a part of the program when you opt for it. And no wonder year on year, you would find the BSc Eco student. I mean, I have interacting with them for the last 3 years, and all the 3 years have been fantastic. Okay, so now let's talk about a lot of serious talks. I'm bahut ho gaya. Okay, let's talk about the fun element. Okay, so Smith, Nirmit, you guys are the current students. Okay, tell me more about the festivals. Tell me, how do you enjoy your break? How exactly it works? Starting with you, Smith.
You want to know about the fests and clubs and
Yes,
everything, right?
fest and clubs and everything.
So in SAMSO, that's what we call it, the economics branch. So we have a lot of clubs and festivals. Particularly, especially I'm a part of the sports club. And the question.
Yeah, so somebody's asking what is the total intake of students. I did mention at the start of it. Myth got disturbed. Okay, so I did mention at the start of it, 120 for Mumbai, 60 for Navi Mumbai, and 60 for Bangalore. I will pick up the question one by one. Okay, now no question in the chat box, please. Okay, yes, Smith, go ahead.
Yeah, so as I was saying, there are a wide variety of clubs and fests. So in the first year, I was part of the sports club, Fury, which is SAMSO's sports fest. It's one of Mumbai's biggest sports fest in terms of college events. And I was part of Kaching X HCon, which is SAMSO's economics fest. Even that, it is India's second largest economic-led student conclave. So that is also a very good thing for students to join. Besides this, we also have a finance club. We have Junoon. Junoon is basically arts and craft club. So within Junoon, you have Spotlight, which is basically drama. You have 8 Count, which is dance, and I believe it's Bossa Nova, which is your music club, basically. Besides this, you also have consulting club, which I'm a part of now. So SAMSO's consulting club actually came into effect this year, and we've already been making strides in making it bigger. And we've been collaborating with LSE's consulting club. So even that is a good opportunity. In terms of fun, like you said, besides your college, beside your student life, there's a lot of things to do in Mumbai. So coming to NMIMS, you have to explore Mumbai. That's like the main benefit of coming to NMIMS. So you don't have to only look at your college life, and especially weekends. Weekends are the best time. You get to go out, have fun, explore the city, do your extracurriculars.
Absolutely correct. It is definitely a good city to be in. But let's ask the boy who is born and raised in Mumbai. Nirmit, what about you?
Yeah, about the clubs, I think Smith would know better than me about the clubs. He has been part of almost every club in the college. Yeah, so I think he missed about the finance club, and there's a social service club called Samvedna also, which is also quite good. About the part of exploring the city, yeah, Mumbai is quite beautiful. It's quite exciting. I would say 2 years of my college life have gone in making my friends explore the city, because none of my friends are from Mumbai. So I have to take that responsibility of making them get to know what the real Mumbai is, what the nightlife is, and what are the beaches about.
Fantastic. Okay, so eventually, though there is rigor, this is my take, what I have kind of got from all of you. Okay, though there is a rigorous program, the rigor is 12 months, the rigor would be there for 2 to 3 months, which is just 25-30 days before the end. Okay, you would be learning a lot, but there will be a lot of fun as well. Okay, you would be learning skills, through your committees and through your festivals, there will be a lot of skills what you would be learning. Okay, so tell me something. Let's take up questions. I think people have posted a lot of questions. Okay, all right. Why didn't Smith Bhaiya go to Symbiosis? What happened, Smith Bhaiya? Why didn't you go to Symbiosis?
So actually, I got admission in Symbiosis. The main reason I didn't go to Symbiosis because I don't think it met what I was looking for in my college. So I'm speaking completely personally. I felt that the course was not exactly suited to me. And plus, my parents are very eager for me to go outside Pune, but somewhere close to Pune.
Yes, would you like to possibly just tell them what are the colleges you were got into and which one did you reject?
So I got into Symbiosis, I got into NMIMS, I got into Ashoka. I mean, I cleared IIM Rohtak's entrance exam, but I didn't go for the interview because I didn't want to explore more. And I think I had missed Xavier's cutoff by I think 0.5% or something like that.
Yeah, so very clear. Smith had other plans, and right now, Smith, are you happy with where you are right now, where you're placed?
Yes, I am actually.
Okay, now I just want to tell something, you guys. Okay, right now is a phase where I get a lot of parents calling me. I get a lot of students who would be going for their interviews, and what I realize is that there's a lot of anxiety. Okay, parents worry, अगर मैम नहीं हुआ तो मैम अगर ये अच्छा है या वो अच्छा है. Trust me, parents, everything will fall in place. Okay, I have interacted with parents. I interact with parents every day in and day out, and I speak to students who initially say कि ma'am I'm lost, but eventually everything falls in place. So right now, there is a saying that just keep moving, don't stop. The time when you sit down and start thinking and you don't realize when that thinking goes into overthinking, it is an overwhelming period. So many entrance exams, so many applications, so many programs. Take one thing at a time, and I'm sure things will fall in place. Okay, so like Smith, who rejected a lot of things, but I mean, a lot of you would ask Rohtak, he didn't explore. His thought process or what he was looking out for was different. So look out and think about what you really want. And I'm sure 2 years down the line, when I would be, speaking to you, I would have the same confident person like Smith speaking to the other students and telling that, this was my decision. And right now where I'm placed, I'm pretty happy with it. Okay. So with this Gyan, let's move on and let's take the next question. Okay. Okay. I have somebody asking Ishita Didi also a question. I just found that, Didi Bhaiya thing very cute. Where is it? Oh, I missed the question. Okay. Let's take the next question. I'm not able to find it. Tell us more about the majors and minors. Myth, you went like this. Now it's better. Okay. Nirmit, can you please help us with the majors and minors, what you get right now? As in, is there any specialization?
Yeah, so I do not know about what is the new thing after NAP. So for us, we do not have any specific major. So economics is a major, and in third year we get to select between finance, management, and eco. So that will be the finalization, or that will be the specialization in the final year.
Okay. Yeah. Fantastic. Okay, I hope that answers the question two students have asked about the majors, minors. Okay, yes, Ishita Didi, we got the question. Ishita Didi, can you please ask Ishita Didi, okay? The student is asking, can you please ask Ishita Didi about the BBA program? Okay, Ishita, I think if you can put some light, because there's a very overlapping question I'm getting. BBA program or BSc Eco, what exactly would work for a student?
So see, I'll tell something which will clear most of the students' doubt here. The placements for both the courses is same. For BSc Economics, BBA, BCom and BSc Finance, for all these 4 programs, the placement cell is the same. So essentially, whichever company is coming, so if you're just looking for placements from that perspective, I'm telling you. Now coming to BBA, BBA is a very specialized kind of course for those people who would like to do MBA in future or would like to go to corporate. Economics, I would say, is something which, as I mentioned earlier also, opens up a lot of avenues for you in terms of that you can go for either masters in finance or masters in economics as well. after doing. For example, and it's not just, so we have been just talking about economics and finance since start, but I think this is an understatement about the scope of economics. So for example, I am doing my MSc psychology right now as a distant learning course. So I jumped into psychology after doing economics because you can do that, because there is a subject called behavioral economics, there is introductory psychology, there is motivational training that were taught to us in college, which you can say basically made me interested into this subject. So I thought of that while doing my job, I'm doing this distant learning course in MSc clinical psychology. So the scope is very good after you select economics. At least personally for me, this was the reason. And if people are looking courses according to the placements, then I would say the placement is same. So like you all would sit for the same companies, you would have same type of examinations, same type of interviews. So that is there. And both the courses have their own pros and cons, and you can maybe get a more clearer idea after looking at the course curriculum. So the course curriculums are available on NMIMS website. You can just go and check it out, because again, I think they have made all the courses for 4 years. When I graduated, the courses were just for 3 years. So they must have altered the subjects here and there. So if you would just read the subjects, you would get a very clear idea that you know what is making you more interested, like which subject you would want to study in your college. So yeah, I think that would help a lot. But both
Fantastic.
courses are good. Yeah.
Both courses are good. Fantastic. So both the courses are good. Now depends upon which exactly. So I'll tell you what a lot of students do. Okay. When you fill the form, you fill the form for 3 programs: BSc Eco, BSc Finance, BBA, BBA FinTech. सब कोर्सेज चेक कर लेते हैं, 3 अटेम्प्ट्स होते हैं, NMIMS में जाके वो 3 अटेम्प्ट देते हैं, एंड देन इवेंचुअली द एडमिशन इज बेस्ड ऑन योर मेरिट. और फिर जिस कॉलेज में एडमिशन मिल रहा है और जिस कैंपस में एडमिशन मिल रहा है, दैट बिकम्स द प्रायोरिटी. आई होप आई एम नॉट कंफ्यूजिंग यू गाइज. सो व्हेन यू फिल दी, आई होप आई हैव क्लियर्ड. इज इट कंफ्यूजिंग कि समझा? क्विकली रेज ऑफ हैंड. समझा? एक ही को समझा? Okay. I was just checking if people are alive, kind of just awake or sleeping. Good. Okay. Another question for Smith Bhaiya. Smith Bhaiya, why did you not go to Ashoka?
So actually, like how ma'am had said that some people are it's a very anxious period of your life. So for me, ma'am knows me very well. So I had the option between Ashoka and NMIMS, and I left my decision till the final day. So usually the day you're supposed to pay the fee, I left the decision to that day. So I had gone to Ashoka, I saw the campus, I saw everything. But at the end of the day for me, it was a personal decision why I chose NMIMS. It had nothing to do with the college. So I chose NMIMS because I wanted to stay closer to my house, like to my family. So that is the main reason why I chose NMIMS. But Ashoka is also a very good option. Equally difficult to get into, and it is, I would say, it's a very different life to what you would get to NMIMS. NMIMS gives you a city life. Ashoka will give you a campus life. Now it is on your personal preference. What do you want to experience?
Absolutely correct. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm getting this particular questions quite a lot in my, in the Q&A, is about the mathematics aspect. Before we jump to placement, mathematics, aspect is something which students are asking for. So quickly, if Nirmit, if you can highlight, first thing, is BSc Economics very heavy on mathematics? Is it mathematics intensive?
Yeah, it is. So like the 4 sems I've experienced, we had at least one core subject which included mathematics or statistics. So yeah,
Okay.
you have to get your concepts very correct, and it is definitely harder than your 12th grade CBSE or ICSE mathematics.
So, and one more thing, mathematics intensive, yes, but also it's a very crucial part of your NPAT. So if you don't have mathematics in your 11th or 12th, you will not be able to appear for, or you will not be able to select these subjects like a BBA or BSc Fin or FinTech, or let's say BSc Eco. Okay, so mathematics is important. Make sure you do not miss it. Moving to the next question here. How is campus hiring for BSc Eco at NMIMS? What are the range of package? Prasad, I will hold on to that particular question because we are just moving to placement, because I can see the questionnaire completely filled with the with the placement questions, but I can have 5 minutes, so I will try to pick up other questions about the other topics we are discussing. How do you prepare for the entrance exam, Shalini? I would like to answer this particular question. A lot of students prepare with the entrance exam through a different ways. First, you will have to understand what exactly the syllabus of NPAT examination is, which is available on the NMIMS website itself. Once you understand the syllabus, you will be able to prepare through IMS. We do have options available where you would be able to take a self-learning program, an online program, a classroom program. You would be able to help there, and then you can possibly take up a test and understand how well you are prepared for it. So that's something which we have answered. Does NMIMS take a level student? Yes, A levels will be definitely, you would be able to apply. Are the rumors about NMIMS true? I am sure the students would understand. I'm not talking about this. No. Okay, let's start about placement. Okay, so you both are in the second year. What exactly is the prep for placement? Starting with you, Nirmit.
So we do not have, in second year, we do not have full-fledged placement season. We have like a full-fledged placement season starting from August in the third year when you're about to graduate. So you're not gone through the placement season yet.
But when it comes to internship is concerned, is there any support which NMIMS provides?
There is definitely support when it comes to internship, but it is not as if the interviewers come to your college or the interview. It's basically you get links to apply to various institutions.
Okay, and that's how you apply for internship then?
Yeah.
Okay. So in your third year, Ishita, once you reach the third year, how does the placement cell or the placement work with NMIMS?
Okay, so I'll explain it via timeline of the entire year. I think that would be more comfortable with everyone here. So you start your third year and there is a course called Soft Skills, which have 20, if I'm not wrong, 20 lectures. It is a no credit, you can say no credit course, but the basic purpose of that course is to make you prepared for all the interviews and all that personality checks and the basic questions like strength and weakness that are coming up for your future placement interviews. Then you can say after the third year starts, essentially after 2 to 3 months, the companies start coming in. And the type of companies that come in the start are, I could just name some of the companies from my placement season. They were D-Shaw, it was Nomura, and even if the big 3 or the big 4 are coming, they come around that time only. So the entire placement year is divided into 3 phases. There is this first phase, which is like very early. It is in semester 5 only, not even in semester 6. So these big companies, they start coming in semester 5 only, and so this entire concept works there. Like all these big companies which are offering very high packages, they like to keep their options open. As I mentioned, all the 4 courses have the same placement cell, so people all across the courses apply, and they end up selecting just 2 to 3 people, or sometimes 5 to 6, depending on the like how many people they are in need of. So personally, talking about my placement season, we faced a lot of issues because there was a recession going on that time, and many of the companies didn't come, and the packages they usually used to offer were very less. So I'm telling all this because this all could happen to anyone. So you have to be prepared about all this, because you just can't solely rely on the college. But what I would tell you is that after I left the college, so I got hired into ICICI Lombard from my college placement, and it was towards the very end. It was a very, you can say, pressurizing situation for me, but I got through it because my exams were going on. Semester 6 final exams with research paper presentation, it was going on that time, and that time I had my interview for ICICI Lombard, and I got hired because after December, you can say from December to April is the peak time when companies are coming, there are companies coming every day. Like every day there was 1 or 2 companies coming, and as a student it was your duty to keep a track of them, keep a track of your applications, keep a track of all the resumes you have sent to companies, because it was a very hectic process. Any company can call you for an interview anytime. Any company can ask you to give that, that screening process exams. They could happen anytime, anywhere. So you had to be all prepared. But yeah, college will make sure that you're prepared. There was a clear communication which used to happen. So all the people, so first in a college like NMIMS, you have a option to opt for placements or not opt for placements. So if you opt for placements, then only you are going to receive all the training and all the mails and everything regarding it. If you don't opt it, because there are some people who want to just focus on their master, so they don't essentially opt for placements. So when you opt for placements, there would be many sessions conducted by the placement coordinator. There would be many people there to help you out. So I was also the vice president of the alumni cell, and also one of the clubs, these two forgot to mention, I guess there was LCT, a fine arts club. I was the president of that. So because of association with those clubs, I had a very good alumni network, for myself at least. So seniors used to help me a lot. So this is one of the advice that I would like to give everyone, that just stay in touch with your seniors and alumni, because they just went through the entire process maybe 1 or 2 years back. So they are, your main pillars and guiding strengths that time, because even more than your teachers and parents, I would say, because there are just so many questions that I can understand as a student. There are just so many questions, like even if you're applying to one single company, you have like hundreds of questions, that how can I prepare for this, how can I prepare for that, is my preparation enough, am I eligible? So there is all that, but you don't have to worry, because more or less many people do end up getting placed. Again, because it's a bachelor's course, college doesn't guarantee you anything like that, because usually this guarantee factor is there in master's course, as much as I've seen. But yeah, you do end up getting very good opportunities, either in terms of companies or in terms of roles. So personally for me, as a third year graduate, I was focusing more on a good brand name and a good role. I wasn't looking at the salary packages. I know this is one of the very big motivation of students of our age, that we are graduates from NMIMS, we need a good salary package. But my advice would be, just keep it as the third or fourth priority. Obviously it's a very good thing if you're getting a good salary package, but don't forget that what kind of a role you want to go into, or what kind of a company you want to go into. And one thing that I noticed after graduating was that once you graduate from NMIMS, and even if you didn't get placed from college, most of my batchmates, most of my friends and batchmates, they ended up getting placed within 3 months because of the NMIMS brand name. Like genuinely, that is one of the main reasons. We didn't realize it when we were in college, because again, all of us were NMIMS students, so we sometimes used to get demotivated when a company used to reject us, because again, like suppose 1,000 people are fighting for the same position, the company would end up taking like 5 or 6 of us, so many people used to get demotivated. But I would tell you that there is no reason to get demotivated, because even in the worst case scenario, you don't get placed, you get that window of 3 months right after college ends. And college placements are still going on after you graduate, just by the way. College placements are going on till July. Opportunities are coming in till July. You would get done with your exams in April end, but like your placement coordinator will still keep on sending you mails till July. So that kind of support college provides. And just because of NMIMS brand name, you do end up getting a job. Even if you're applying yourself, you do end up getting a job somewhere, someplace good. So this brand name does help me really well, even for my second job in EY. So I decided to switch from ICICI Lombard to EY because of the role. So initially I got the role of an operations analyst, but as I mentioned before, I wanted to go into core research work. And in EY, I was fortunate enough to get a role like that. It was a process of around 2.5 months that I had to go through the entire interview process, but I was fortunate enough to get selected afterwards. I would say because of all the stuff that I've done in college, all the projects I have done, all the clubs and committees I was a part of, all the subjects I have, learned there. Just it's fine even if you're not part of many clubs and committees. But yeah, so these things help me a lot to be confident in my interviews, be prepared for other type of examinations that companies tend to take before the interviews. So it's there. If there are any other specific questions, I would like to answer them.
Fantastic. I think you have just answered everything which I could have asked for, and I'm sure, as Ishita mentioned, Smith and Nirmit, be in touch with the alumni. It is applicable for you as well. Please, follow her on LinkedIn. And yes, Sai is saying excellent answer. So thank you so much, Ishita. We call alumni for the perspective, because trust me, at this point in time, the only thing students need is some reassurance, some guidance. And with you being here at this particular, webinar is only giving them a loud and clear, information. So thank you so much. Can you share her LinkedIn profile, Ishita? Would you please put it in the chat box so they would like to follow you on LinkedIn?
Even if I would put the link as well, but if you search from my name, you would be able to find me, I'm sure.
Yes, and honestly, I found her on LinkedIn because I was looking out for an alumni and her profile was just perfect. All right, right now I have 17 questions. I have also sent a little poll just to get a feedback from you all. So parents and students, if you guys just take some time and just fill it while we answer the question. We'll take one question at a time and we'll just go SR clockwise. Nirmit have spoken, Ishita have spoken a lot. So we'll just ask the boys right now to do the talking. Okay. So how is the campus hiring? I think we answered all the questions about hiring. We spoke about subjects, placement, we did answer. Okay. What is the difference between our commerce student eligible for BSc? Yes. I think I would like to take up this particular question. Okay, so students, right now, if you have this in your mind that I'm a commerce student, I will not be able to pursue a BA Economics. I am a BA student, will not be able to pursue BSc Economics, or it is commerce versus BSc. It is not applicable now. Okay, so if you're a commerce student, you can opt for BSc Economics, and not only with NMIMS, but with any other college you would go for. So please do not have this in your mind. We have answered your first question, Shreya. Bit confused, how can be the placements for BSc Eco and BCom and other courses would be the same? Ishita, you will have to explain a little bit more.
Yeah, I understand why this could be a common confusion, because even we had it when we were first or second year students. See, the thing is, all the roles that you're going to get after your third year bachelor's are fresher roles. So as a fresher, if you go to any big corporate or any startup or any firm for that matter, they have to teach you a lot. They have to invest a lot of their energy on you to teach you the work. So essentially, that's why the placements that are coming in are same for all the courses, because from their part, a lot of learning is involved, and not necessarily, for example, it won't matter that much that what you studied in your bachelor's, because most of the learning would be happening after you join the organization according to your role. So this I noticed myself, because when I went to ICICI Lombard, my learning was completely different according to my specific role there. And once I shifted to EY recently, my learning was completely different. Even though I have studied economics, so you can say I'm one of the better candidates for a research work role, because you end up learning, you end up doing a lot of research when you take BSc Economics in a span of 3 years, and you have to do a full-fledged research paper towards the end of a course as well. I think for them it would be towards the end of 4th year now. For us, it was the 3rd year. So, but still, even if they are hiring someone from some other course, they would give them that equal amount of training. So from a company's perspective, they don't, it doesn't really matter to them that what you study, because they know they anyways have to invest on you. What matters to them is how you are catering to their demands, how smart you are, how adaptable you are. All of that they figure out in the interview process.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, now I would like to answer Shalini. What is the average placement package after the course is done? Okay, so this is something which might come across a little, I don't know, a little, we can't be delusional here. So I get a lot of students who would say that, ma'am, 15-17 lakhs ka to package. So delusion, yes, Smith, yes. Yes, I like the Smith reaction. I wanted to capture it. Yeah. So that's not the case. Okay. If you go on NMIMS website, they have a placement report which clearly says you guys will be a fresher if you're looking at after graduation, if you're looking out for a package. The package itself will start, possibly at 3, 4, 7 to 8 lakhs. Okay. So average would be around 7 to 8. If you are good with your skills and if that job role demanded a bigger package, you would get a little bit above than 7 and 8. But do not be under a delusion that college to wait कर रही है मेरा, मैं ऐसे ही मुझे मिल जाएगा. It is not the case. This is specifically for parents and students. I heard that they don't consider doctor certificate for the child if they have missed college. Nirmit, is it true?
That's actually not true now. The thing is, if you have been ill, you can give a doctor certificate and your minimum requirement for attendance will actually be reduced to 70%.
Okay, so it is considered, it will be reduced, but attendance is compulsion. Okay. Now let's talk about the mathematics. I think again a lot of mathematics is coming up here. What are the topics covered in mathematics and how do you enjoy maths? Okay, Smith and Nirmit, either of you, do you both enjoy maths?
I mean, I was very weak in maths in 9th and 10th. I started understanding maths after 11th. So even the maths that you're going to study for your entrance exam, I think that will pretty much form the foundation for what you'll be studying inside the course. So it's not going to be like entirely new maths until you reach the second year. Like your first year in your first sem, your maths is basically differentiation, integration, all the basic things that you've done earlier in your 11th and 12th. Now your second sem, you'll be having stats. Now stats is the very basic thing, like what you've done in your 11th, like your mean, median, mode, and all the basic stuff. Now from the second year, you have maths and stats, which is a combination of both subjects. Now that's when it gets difficult. Because now the statistical concept you learned in your second sem, you have to apply that to economic concepts. So from second year, it starts picking on. So from second year, your maths becomes more intensive.
Makes sense. I hope that answers the question. Now let's talk about the faculty. Nirmit, if you would be able to, highlight on the fact that how good are the professors, how interactive they are, and just want to ask, people are putting questions in chat. I will not be picking them up. But just a coincidence, Prachi. But it's not that none of the professors are not good. I would not agree to that. It is just that at times, it is just that the approach is different. Don't call any professor not good. PhD करके रखा होता है हमने. Yes, Nirmit, can you give a little
exactly.
details?
So you like some professors and obviously you don't like some professors.
True.
Yeah, so it depends on how do you match with them. What is your are you able to relate with them? So professor quality has generally been very good. They know a lot of stuff. They're very helpful. They also add a lot of new information which is about the curriculum, which is one of the things which I've noticed. Like my other friends who are not in NMIMS, they only stick to a curriculum. So the information is based to only that few pages of text. But in our college, we got a lot of more insights about that same topic because the teachers, like you mentioned, all of them have PhDs or are pursuing PhD. So yeah, they're definitely interactive. They know a lot more than we do, and yeah, most of them are good. I would say a lot of them are good, but yeah, obviously there's some professors you don't like. But I would say that is because of your own personal bias. Nothing against them.
Absolutely. Ishita, it's 8 o'clock. We discussed it. I'm sure you have to travel, so you can take your leave. Yeah. Okay, I am here. I would be answering all the questions because I have interacted. So I'm well aware. But in case if there is something I'm stuck with, I will definitely connect with you.
Yeah, and to all the people who joined there, if you want to connect with me or have any other type of questions, you can contact me through LinkedIn. I think my profile is there. I would really be glad to help. Okay.
Fantastic.
And if you also want referrals for EY, let me know. I can help you with that, definitely.
Yes, Nirmit, written,
Bye-bye.
right? Referral for EY.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye. Thank you, guys.
Welcome. All right. Now let's pick up questions for what we have. What is the difference between BA and BSc Economics? Manya, BA Economics will have other papers as well, like philosophy, sociology, BSc Eco will have BSc Eco, and usme you would study, in fact, micro and macroeconomics be to an extent same hi hota hai, but again other subjects are also involved with BA and BSc, so that's where the difference is. Okay, can we get college visit to NMIMS? Harshita, just email me your name. I can help you with that. I'll just share some details with you. Okay, so I can help you out with that. That's my email address. If Harshita is listening, you want to go for campus visit, I can help you out with that. Just email me on my email address. I can connect you with, with someone. Okay, Smith, and let me know if there are any IB students with you in the class.
Yeah, I know a few IB students.
Okay, so tell me something with IB students. Is it something different when it comes to credit, or is it something similar with the way it goes for you when it comes to the curriculum
No.
is concerned?
So it's same for everyone. There's no exception in that.
Do you find the IBDP students having difficulty with maths course in NMIMS or with the BSc?
More than maths, I would say statistics, because they are not quite familiar with statistical tools and stuff. So it's definitely a bigger learning curve for them, but it's not that hard in the end. You obviously got teachers and friends to help you out.
Okay. Somebody is asking what is the cutoff. Okay, I have shared the video, but I just want to mention it here. For BSc Econ, in 2024, the cutoff was 1170. So the merit rank is what we are talking about. 1170 for Mumbai campus. So, अगर वहाँ तक पहुँच गए तो शायद मुंबई कैंपस मिल जाएगा. I think we covered almost a lot of questions. All right. Any further questions? NMIMS doesn't publish the score of entrance, so guidance on securing admission to BSc Eco. Prasad, when it comes to score is concerned, correct, they don't publish their scores, but merit rank are published. Just make sure that you study well. Right now is the time where you brush up and you take your mock test, your sim test. Just make sure that you're giving your sim test. Just give your test to make sure where and how, to what extent you are prepared. Because the lower the score are, as in the better the scores are. Below 1170 was still last year, so try to score rank better. The chances would be better. All right. So with this, we come to an end. Thank you, bhaiyas. Everybody's saying thank you, bhaiyas. All right. So just quickly, was it helpful? Nobody gave the poll. So mean everyone is. Nobody gave the poll. Was it helpful? Chalo jaldi. It was helpful. All right. Great. Okay. So all of you, the poll disappeared. Seriously, poll disappeared. Oh, okay. Fine. I'll relaunch it. Oh, relaunched. Okay, it's relaunched. It is relaunched. Quickly now give me the poll. Tell me how was it. The poll is relaunched. If you guys can see it, and let me know how was it. Thank you so much for joining in. I hope you guys have enjoyed this session as much as I have, because out of the questions which I have received, we have tried to make sure we answer everything. In case if you need any guidance, you can get in touch with me on my email address. If you want their LinkedIn profile, you both are on LinkedIn, Smith and Nirmit.
Yeah.
Kindly just, if you guys are comfortable, just put in your LinkedIn profiles here. So the students would be able to follow you and connect with you, and they can understand your journey. And thank you so much. You all have been real good audience. And whoever is watching right now on YouTube, in case if you have any feedback, please do mention it in the comment box. And thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Smith and Nirmit, for taking our time and doing this for us. I really appreciate it. Bye-bye.